Cleaning and sanitizing instructions. Your slicer must be disassembled, cleaned, and sanitized a minimum of every 4 hours and at the end of the day. Do not hose down or pressure wash the slicer. Never use a scrubber pad, steel wool, or any other abrasive material on the slicer. Never use a bleach-based cleaner, hyposodium chloride. Use only globe-specified sanitizers. Use a moist wipe to clean your slicer. Make sure to always wring out excess water before cleaning. It is extremely important to follow the instructions on the sanitizer container to ensure proper sanitation is achieved. Always wear mesh and single-use gloves. To begin the cleaning procedure, make sure that the slicer is turned off and the food chute is completely towards the operator. Turn the slice thickness dial clockwise past 0 until it stops. Switch the auto engage lever to manual and unplug the slicer. With a clean cloth, wipe away liquids and food particles. Unscrew the slide rod from the food chute and remove the end weight. Next, remove the food chute by loosening the chute release knob. Lift the food chute off the chute arm. Remove the knife sharpener inlay. Place this item to the side to be cleaned and sanitized. To remove the knife cover, loosen the knife cover thumb screw with your right hand. With your left hand, hold the tab located at the bottom of the cover. Carefully rock the knife cover away from the bottom pin and pull the cover away from the knife. Attached to the ring guard is a removable, flexible slice deflector. At the center of the ring guard is a locking tab. Carefully unsnap the slice deflector from the ring guard and remove it for cleaning. Take all the removed parts of the slicer to the sink for cleaning and sanitizing. Scrub clean, rinse, and sanitize all parts. Allow them to air dry before reinstalling them on your clean, sanitized, and dry slicer. Clean and sanitize the entire slicer. Start by cleaning the knife ring guard. Insert a clean nylon brush into a mild detergent and warm water solution. Work the brush along the outer edge of the knife. Also, work the brush along the entire backside of the knife. Spray the entire surface of the slicer with the Globe-approved slicer cleaner, including both sides of the knife, slicer table, entire slicer base, the sharpener inlay, and attached lanyard. Next, insert a clean, damp cloth in a mild detergent, warm water solution. Using the clean, damp cloth and slicer brush, scrub the surfaces of the slicer, including the knife. Wipe the knife from the center outward. Make sure that you clean and sanitize the back of the knife as well. Clean and sanitize the knife inlay and lanyard. Using a spray bottle of clean water, thoroughly rinse the slicer. Wipe the surfaces with a clean, dry paper towel to remove excess water. Carefully wipe the knife from the center of the knife outward. Also, wipe the slicer table by starting at the knife and wiping away from the blade. The Globe slicer has a lift lever which raises the slicer to allow cleaning underneath. Push the chute arm all the way back. Pull the lift lever handle toward you while gently lifting up on the slice thickness dial. After cleaning and sanitizing the counter area under the slicer, gently lower the slicer back into its operating position. Make sure the slicer feet are in the foot retainers. Spray the countertop and entire surface of the slicer, including both sides of the knife, slicer table, entire slicer base, the sharpener inlay, and attached lanyard with the Globe's approved sanitizer. Follow the instructions on the container to ensure proper sanitation is achieved. Allow the slicer and all the parts to air dry. Do not wipe dry. Repeat this entire process a minimum of every 4 hours and at the end of the working day. The slicer must be disassembled, cleaned, and sanitized. An important step to kill bacteria is to allow the slicer and all the parts to air dry before placing them back on the slicer. Do not wipe dry. Now that your slicer has been cleaned, sanitized, and allowed to air dry, it is time to reassemble it for use. Begin by inserting and securing the slice deflector. Make sure it snaps back into place on the ring guard. Retrieve the cleaned, sanitized, and dry knife cover from the sink area and align the tab over the locator pin. With 2 fingers, press the tab over the pin. You will hear it click into place. Press and hold the knife cover in place while tightening the thumb screw on the top of the slicer. Reattach the clean knife cover inlay. Retrieve the cleaned, sanitized, and dried food chute from the sink area and place it back on to the chute arm. Securely tighten the food chute release knob. Reinsert and secure the slicer end weight slide rod and end weight. Plug the slicer in, and you are again ready to slice.